Welcome to the B-Max Sports Podcast.
Hey, we got 30 minutes for the rest of our lives. 30 minutes for the rest of our lives.
Make sure to subscribe on all platforms.
Let's be great. Let's be great.
Hope you enjoy the show.
Hello, and welcome back to Tate and Josh in the Morning, where we give zero fucks about your opinion and all about ours. I'm just kidding, guys. Welcome back, Josh, back for another episode. I think this is going to be a pretty good one. Not 100% positive, though. It could be very shitty. Who knows? How was your day, buddy?
It was good, man. We went to work, came home, did all kinds of just nothing. Trying to make
Absolutely, the
progress
same thing I did, buddy.
Have you ever thought
I
that
actually,
the intro to the to our thing, the alarm clock going off in the morning, I've never even realized how annoying it was until just then, whenever like I heard it and the hairs on my back went up just thinking about waking up.
dude, I need to change it to the fucking iPhone alarm clock. Dude, I dread that bitch every morning. It's fucking terrible. The worst sound ever. But I got a couple things done after work today. I got paid. I sold my Toyota truck. So I had the money from that, and I finally went and put the shit in the bank, paid my house payment, paid my truck payment, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But anyway, we got some shit done today. Yeah, you know how I do, buddy. I don't like to fuck around. I'm like Justin Gaethje in a big fight. I don't fuck around. I'm finna beat somebody's ass. But anyway, let's jump straight into it. Last episode, we talked a little bit about Anonymous, and I promise we dive a little deeper. So basically, if you don't know who Anonymous is, I'm going to give you a little rundown on who they are and what they do. Basically, they're a decentralized, which means they have no central location. They're based all over the world. They're an online activist/hacktivist group, and they're widely known for its various government agencies and the attacks on... I just fucked that all up. They're known for hacking various government agencies, and specifically, the biggest one I remember is the Church of Scientology when they went to war with them motherfuckers. So these guys are seriously, I'm not going to lie, they're badass. Actually, we had a case in Dublin. I don't know if you guys remember the Hooks. Can't remember his first name. But David Hooks, the police went in there. I'm not really going to get too deep into it because I have friends on both sides of it. And I honestly don't know. I was younger. I don't really remember actually what happened. But what I do remember is Anonymous released a video on it. So it's hit as close to home as it can hit. It's hit in Dublin, Georgia. These guys do not fuck around. They can do basically anything online. They can access all your information, fuck your website up, fuck your business up. So my advice would be don't mess with Anonymous. What do you think, Josh? What do you think about these cats?
Dude, I had a buddy who was like obsessed with these guys constantly for months and months at a time, just diving into some of their videos and some of the stuff that they were doing. And it is kind of odd to me that there's just like this absolute horde of people who are unknown. Nobody, because you know how hard it is. If I come and tell somebody that I work with a secret, odds are that the whole plant's going to know within an hour is pretty high. So
yeah,
you've got this group of people who nobody knows who they are. They mainly probably know everything about you if they wanted to. They could find out everything you've ever done.
Yeah,
and
for sure. No doubt about that.
Nobody's a snitch in that group. Nobody knows who they are. Nobody's found out. There's never been somebody to come out and be like, I was in Anonymous and now I'm telling my story. It's really weird to me that there's like actually secret societies that exist in the world that just nobody has any idea what goes on inside of them. I really would like to know like how they actually do. When you join Anonymous, do they approach you? Do you somehow light some kind of campfire and send them bat signals in the woods telling them to meet you, and then they can give you an interview or something? Like, how do you get involved in this secret society?
Yeah, I would love to know that too. Unfortunately, I don't think we ever will. These guys like you said, there's been some people arrested dealing with some of these cyber attacks, and we can't, like, it's hard to even prove that they were anonymous. You know what I mean? The actual group, because they're not talking. There's no real leader that I'm aware of. I'm not. There may be, but nothing I can find on them shows anybody that's like number one in command. I think they all act as one. Would be my guess. They all work together for a common goal, and it's scary that one group can be so united that they're so secretive. The KKK and stuff like that used to be like that, but eventually you're going to have that one person that turns on you and reveals all your secrets. But this hasn't been the case with this group. We know hardly anything about them except what they claim to be responsible for, and their cryptic ass videos they release on YouTube are freaking pretty creepy.
And you know what's wild is you would think that, okay, like, you know, there's obviously some really good hackers out there in this world that are not a part of this organization. You would think at some point somebody's going to say, I'm going to find out who these guys are. And they're going to start digging into who they are, what their real identities are, how they get their information, what kind of, how many people are in their organization, because nobody knows. And they still, I mean, these guys are literally that good at hacking and all things cyber web related that they're literal cyber ghosts. I mean, you can't find them, you can't track them. It's pretty cool to think about it. I mean, kind of eerie at the same time that somebody can literally just hack into the computer I'm on right now and see me sitting in my daggum joggers and cut off shirt with my mullet ripping out and blowing in the fan wind, dude.
So, yeah, it is weird. But if I'm a hacker, that's one organization I'm not messing with. These guys know everything. So if you hack them, I'm sure they could. I don't know how hacking works, honestly. Reverse hack your ass and then end your life. Find out who you are. Just
they're going to be reverse hack you, turn on your computer, watch you masturbating while you're watching porn, and then release it on their Facebook page, and then your FUBAR, dude. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants that released.
Yeah, that's fucked up, yo. Now that I think about it, yo, I'm gonna have to start beating off on my phone or something.
Dude, cover up that camera, boy. Cover up that camera.
I might have to do that, but so yeah, that's basically who Anonymous is and what we know. I think that's the extent of what anybody knows about them, is what we just talked about. We just know they hack people and they're really good at it. So don't fuck with Anonymous. I wouldn't suggest it. Moving on. Let's talk a little bit about YouTube versus Spotify. This is a subject that not Zach. Why the fuck do I call you Zach? Hutto brought to the forefront. We have seen podcasts, especially most notably the Joe Rogan podcast, will be moving to Spotify exclusively. It will be released there, debuted there, and the video versions are eventually, once Spotify releases their video content, is that's where his podcast is going to be exclusively. And I think what Hutto wants to talk about is, will we see more people jump on that? YouTube is the biggest media outlet online by a large margin right now. They don't really have anybody to challenge them, but with their monetization rules, and they pretty much choose the content they can monetize or demonetize you for any reason. We've seen this with numerous YouTubers, Logan Paul, Jake Paul. Their videos get demonetized. Anytime you put, like, for instance, Jake Paul puts, what's that porn star's name, Josh, that he likes to put in there? Is it
Lana Rhoades and
Riley Reid? Yeah. Lana Rhoades and Riley Reid. So he gets demonetized anytime he puts them on there. Spotify is going to make it, from what I'm understanding, you're going to have a contract. They're going to pay you X amount of dollars for X amount of videos a week, so on and so forth. I think that's a good way to go, especially if you're a YouTuber. You want that guaranteed money. You want to make content and get guaranteed X amount of dollars back. Spotify is doing a great job of this, and I think they could really challenge YouTube. And if YouTube doesn't start changing some of their policies and how there needs to be direct guidelines on what monetizes you and what demonetizes you. And right now they really don't have that. They pick and choose, and I think it's bullshit. So I think we could really see Spotify challenge them.
I think if you get to the point where Spotify comes out and they haven't yet released their video portion, like their video watching and media consumption portion of their what is going to be their new app and new platform. But if they come out and say, okay, here's a list of rules, this is the 10 commandments of Spotify, these are the do's and do nots, and as long as you stay within these guidelines, then you're going to get your money. You're not going to be breaking any rules. We're not going to add any rules. We're not going to take anything away from you. This could be the final nail in YouTube's coffin, because what people don't realize is Joe Rogan leaving YouTube and saying, screw you, I'm not. I mean, because basically what happened was YouTube just recently come out and they said, look, if there's any cussing within 5 minutes of your video going up, we're demonetizing. If there's any alcohol, if there's any weed, anything within, I mean, and that's every Joe Rogan podcast on video. I mean, there's always weed around. There's always alcohol around. There's profanity. I mean, I watch another podcast sometimes on, I listen to it mainly, but I watch it sometimes on YouTube, The Fighter and the Kid, where they told them, hey, we're demonetizing these videos because of the new rule. And they were like, well, I mean, that's not fair because we solely express that this is a adult podcast. This is not rated for children. And they're ready to get up and move too. And that's one of the bigger podcasts in the podcast verse. I mean, it's fairly big outreach. I mean, when you look at the Call Her Daddy podcast, and they're having their issues right now. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen, but that was a fairly large one too. And yes, they were rude. They were crude. They cursed on that podcast as well. And yes, they were being uploaded to YouTube. So
yeah, who gives a shit?
If those are your biggest if those are some of your biggest, I mean, those are really big names in the podcast universe and really, really big names in the YouTube universe, because a lot of people, if you're like me, you don't care to watch TV anymore. I really don't. I'm mainly if I cut on cable or some kind of other streaming thing, it's going to be during football season. Now, I mean, obviously I have Netflix and Hulu and stuff like that where I can just watch
Pornhub Premium.
Yeah, Pornhub Premium. Shout out, come hit me up on my OnlyFans. There's really tasteful nudes on that guy.
Exclusive mullet pics.
Exclusive mullet pics. But I mean, anyway, you get back to that, and I mean, those places make. I mean, YouTube makes extreme money off of these videos, and even when these videos are demonetized to the content provider, YouTube is still putting up their ads.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They're going to make their money.
Dude, they're still making money. You cannot look up one video and not get an ad from YouTube. You can't do it. They're making money off of it. And I mean, right. They have the right. Don't get me wrong. This is capitalism, baby. You got the right to do what you want with your platform. But these guys who also say, hey, that's unfair, we're going to branch out to somebody else who's saying, hey, look, we're going to, instead of you having to get a certain amount of views or a certain amount of likes on your video, we're going to go ahead and just pay you contract-wise per year. And you own all the rights to your podcast. You own the IT rights. You own everything. And we just pay you to exclusively put your content on our platform. I really do, with the way that YouTube has been conducting their business. The way, I mean, they're just as bad as Twitter, Facebook, as far as they don't really have any rules. They just deem what is unacceptable and what is acceptable. I think Spotify, if they do this right, this is the final nail in YouTube's coffin. And I mean, I hate to see it because I like YouTube, but I mean, as much money as Spotify, because I mean, I have a Spotify premium account. So I pay $9.99 a month to be able to download music, all that happy trash, everything like that. So I mean, there's a lot of other people like that. So I mean, these guys they have money. They have the money to front up to these big name guys like Joe Rogan. Because I mean, you look, I mean, he's the biggest name in the podcast universe right now. There's
for sure.
Other than BMAX Sports, Tate and Josh in the morning, nobody bigger.
Yeah, nobody better either, motherfuckers. Don't forget that shit.
Yeah, don't forget it.
We do it on here, yeah.
I mean, dude, I really see this being a problem for YouTube. And even if it does not, I mean, even if it doesn't kill YouTube, and I'm not saying it will. I mean, there's a high possibility that now that they don't have a monopoly on this stuff come September, that it could stop downloads, it could stop views on YouTube. But
yeah, they'll be retracting their statements real fucking quick. Did we say no cussing, no alcohol, no weed? Do all that. We don't give a shit.
Yeah,
Matt, please, baby, come back.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe it'll force them to kind of look at the way they deal with their I would guess you would say employees. I don't know what you call.
I mean, you technically work for them.
Yeah.
You get paid by them. They're an employer. Yeah. So they should treat their employees like employees. Be fair. I mean, of course, be just. Enforce your rules, whatever your rules are. But for them, I mean, like you said, them going back and demonetizing videos that were made under the old set of rules is 100% horseshit. They were made and monetized under a different set of rules, then you want to go back and demonetize them. Total horseshit. They shouldn't do that. That's bad business, and it's going to end up hurting them in the long run. And I 100% agree that Spotify is definitely fitting to make a push to challenge them for the biggest video and media platform in the world, for sure.
And comedians shouldn't be punished for publishing some kind of podcast or a video where, I mean, obviously comedians get paid to make dick jokes, dude. And then you come up to
that's my favorite.
You come up to do part of your bit or have a little kind of funny little skit on your podcast or something like that, and they're like, "Oh, see you, sorry, you don't get your money because we dislike what you put up."
Yeah, it's a bad look overall for YouTube. I feel like they're going to be forced to reconsider these rule changes and the monetization process. They've got to. I mean, it's time.
Especially if you mark your channel as an adult content.
Yeah, my channel's 100% an adult channel. Don't come on my shit with like some 8-year-old kids and expect them not to be running around school cussing out their preschool teachers. That's going to happen. I encourage it. If you're a kid watching this or listening to this, cuss out your teacher. No, I'm just kidding. Totally joking, YouTube. Please, God, don't fucking demonetize my channel and ban me from YouTube. You radical fucks. No, anyway.
Screw YouTube. Take us down. Yeah. We hate you.
I don't necessarily hate YouTube, but a lot of their monetization policies are fucking. I mean, one, it's hard to get monetized. One. Two, you work so hard to get monetized, and then you've got to watch what you say and make sure you don't get demonetized. You can't be yourself, and I look for a platform to encourage you to be yourself, for sure.
If you're working for YouTube, it's like working in a sweatshop in Red China, dude. You got to look straight in front of you, watch exactly what you say. Do not take a break at any time unless you are told to. Don't say anything against the company.
Yeah, exactly. I'm done talking about these fuckers. They're kind of annoying, to be honest. I mean, it's a great career if you can make a career out of it, but it's got to be stressful. You would think. I mean, just me upload. It's hard. It's hard work to edit, upload, and all that shit. You put all this time into a video, and then you have Riley Reid in there, who is one hot mama. Not doing anything sexual. It's just because she's in there. Oh, demonetized. Like, well, I mean, fuck you, brother.
She did deep throat that mic on the on Logan.
Which I'm here for that. People watch it specifically for that. Like, what the fuck? I wish Lana Reid would.
The thing is too, like
Riley Reid. Yeah, I said Lana Reid. Sorry.
Lana Rhodes dates a dude who is on that podcast. So can YouTube now say, hey, sorry, Mike, you can't have your girlfriend even pass through the room while y'all doing the podcast because we're going to demonetize you.
Yeah, that's a big ridiculous right there. I mean, it is what it is, but YouTube can do what they want, but there are consequences for everything they're doing, and I think they're going to realize that. They're not the powerhouse they once were, especially if Spotify, like you said, plays their cards right here. They can really be a major player in this media platform industry. So anyway, let's move on. Did you see the fucking news today, Josh? Carol Baskins was in the news today. Did you see it?
I saw actually a Facebook message or post or something about She is.
Yeah.
She's won Joe Exotic Zoo in her.
Well, it's not even Joe's anymore. It's that fucking other guy. What was the other guy's name?
Jeff Lowe.
Jeff Lowe. Yeah, that fucking creeper.
The walking Harley's-9.
But still, I'd rather Jeff Lowe have it than fucking Carol Baskin. Are you kidding me, dude? Dude, she's already powerful enough. She gets people to work for her for free, and now you're giving her another fucking zoo where she's going to enslave these bitches and brainwash them. Jesus, dude. Yeah. And her zoo, like, I'm going to be completely honest. I know we've already talked about this, but her zoo was a hunk of shit compared to Joe's zoo, in my opinion. They had way more room in their cages. I wouldn't say they were fed better because they're fed off a fucking Walmart spoiled meat truck, but still, I mean, they get fed adequately. Larger, nicer cages, in my opinion. But, I mean, I don't know how they were treated off camera. It is what it is. But I'm really disturbed to see Carol Baskin fucking winning again. I really do not like this bitch. Somebody's got to take her down, you know. Put her in jail for that murder.
Her time is coming.
Yeah, karma. I'm a firm believer in karma, man. Karma's going to get her, and it is what it is. I mean, I recently sold a truck, and I sold it a lot cheaper than what I wanted to because it had an issue that I wasn't aware of until I went and got the oil change before selling it. And I was like, I could tell this dude there's nothing wrong with it and let karma handle my ass down the road, or I can be straight up with the guy. And I'm more of a straight up person. I told him about it. I gave it to him about half of what I wanted for it because of that. I wanted him to feel comfortable. I wanted me to feel comfortable with the price. And I'm just a firm believer in karma. So, Carol Baskin, you better watch your fucking back. Maybe that little ginger-eyed Jew boyfriend you got might knock your ass off, or husband. Might fucking feed you to the tigers or something. Who knows?
Or the one-armed dude from Joe Exotic Zoo.
That's a chick, yo.
Oh, Jesus Christ. The one-armed female woman with the one arm. You know how passionate she was about the zoo.
Yeah. But in the post thing and like the little extra episode they added, she didn't seem nearly as enthusiastic in that interview as she did during the Netflix series. I'm just ready for the show or movie, whatever it is, the little movie series they're coming out with. I can't wait for that shit.
Bro, you know, I'm kind of down on that now because at first I was like, okay, Nicolas Cage is playing in it. That's going to be kind of dope. Good actors. But then I thought, why is David Spade not playing Joe Exotic?
Did you see, speaking of David Spade, have you watched The Wrong Missing on Netflix yet?
No, I have not.
Oh, dude, you got to check that shit out. I thought it was pretty funny. I've seen some bad reviews on it, but me personally, I love David Spade, and he's in it. He's like the star in it, so he's fucking hilarious. It was a good movie to me. Pretty funny, pretty ironic. It's something that would happen to me. So if you get a chance, check that out. It's pretty good. We'll talk about it on here after you watch it. All right, moving on. Cole Sprouse. If you don't know who that is, and you should, and you probably know who he is, you just don't know him by that name. He was one of the stars in The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. What a fucking dipshit. This dude was arrested, I think it was in Santa Monica, California, during a George Floyd protest. I'm all for the protest, guys. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's a dipshit for that. But he wants to complain. They came out with a strict 4 p.m. curfew. I think that's what it said. I think it's 4 p.m. Eastern time, which would be 7 p.m. their time. So he knows the curfew. He's out past curfew. The cops ask him to leave. This is his story now. We haven't heard from the officers aren't going to make a statement on it more than likely. I wouldn't expect them to. But this fucker stays out there. It's past 7 o'clock. One set of officers ask them all to leave. They go to leave and they get arrested. I mean, you knew what the curfew was to start with. The cops shouldn't have to tell you that. Ignorance to the law, we all know this, is not an excuse. You're supposed to know this shit. So he was arrested, and of course, I mean, he's got plenty of money. He got out. I just really don't like this guy, honestly. So I'm kind of biased.
Does he still have that Sweet Life money? Is it still rolling in, or is he doing other endeavors these days?
I think he's been in a few movies and shit. I don't know. I'm sure he probably invested some of it or something. He's not hurting for money, I'm sure. Still living in Santa Monica. The cost of living out there is pretty high. So I would expect him to be doing pretty well. He got out, I think, it's almost immediately. But look, dude, just because you're a fucking celebrity doesn't make you above the law. If they make a curfew, it's for everybody. Don't go out there thinking, oh, you watch The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody? That's me, motherfucker. I'm not going to jail. No, I bet you're going to jail.
Dude,
What the fuck did you think was going to happen, buddy?
if I was a cop in Hollywood Hills, I would not arrest anyone but celebrities just to
Right?
do it. Like, dude, J Lo comes down the street, or daggum, who's another famous person that's pretty cool?
Jennifer Aniston?
Yeah, dude, no, Jennifer Aniston getting locked up, son. I see her
I'm
driving
frisking
by.
her first, though.
I see her driving by, and well, I don't know if I can frisk her during the Me Too movement, but at least I'm going to throw her in the back of my cop car, and just every time I see her, I'm arresting her, just so I can freaking get near the woman. Like, oh, I'm sorry, ma'am, you were going 2 miles over the speed limit. We're going to have to go to jail today.
Yeah, your insurance ain't coming back valid. I'm sorry. And it looks like you might have a sack of weed on you. I'm just gonna pat you down real quick.
Yeah, Rihanna.
That's what I'm doing.
Hey, girl, you getting pulled over?
It's facts. So I don't know what these celebrities. I mean, there's a lot of celebrities that are marching, and I think or protesting, and I think a lot of them, for a majority of them, I think it's genuine. There's been a few that I've been like, what the fuck is he doing out there? Like, really? Jake Paul was one of them, and this fucker's one of them. Machine Gun Kelly, yeah, I think he really believes in the BLM movement, and he really wants justice. I don't think these other fuckers, these privileged folk that grew up. This fucker was on a Disney show when he was like fucking 12. Been rich ever since.
Making bank, dude.
Get the
making.
If you really like it, like we said about Jake Paul, if you really wanted to help, you could find another way to do it.
I mean,
and then I'm like I said, I'm all for your right to protest, but I just don't think it's genuine, and I don't think if you genuinely believe in the cause, you should be out there with the other people that really do believe in the cause. It pollutes the effectiveness of it. I feel like if he's just doing it because everybody's doing it. I feel like it's a good social look for him. So that's my opinion, and I hate that because it, like I said, it pollutes the effectiveness of it, and it makes it. I don't know how to put it, but you know what I mean. Fucked up. You got anything else to say on Mr. Sprouse, Hutto, or no? Should we move on?
Move on, dude. I don't even like the way his hair looks. So he doesn't.
He
doesn't have a mullet. He's not for me.
Yeah, facts. All right. So next on the ballots, I would say rather UFC 250. This card, honestly, at first I was like, it could have been a fight night card. But now that I'm looking at it, there's some really interesting fights on here. There's 3 bantamweight fights with high significance to that division. First, you got Sean O'Malley versus Eddie Wineland. I don't really know a whole lot about Eddie Wineland. I know he's very talented, obviously. But my boy Sean O'Malley is fucking people up right now. And this is not the time I want to be fighting Sean O'Malley. He's still young, and he's getting better every fight. It's scary. His stand-up, he's so unorthodox, and he packs a punch for that bantamweight division, dude. He's fucking tall and lanky, and he still hits with a lot of pop. And the way he hits you, his kicks, he's even good on the ground. He's good everywhere the fight goes, I feel like he's better than Eddie Wineland anywhere this fight goes. So we're going to make our picks on here too, by the way. I'm going Sean O'Malley, Kate, referee stoppage at the very least, maybe a flat-out plush knockout in the second round. So I'm going Sean O'Malley. What you got, Otto?
I'm gonna have to go with O'Malley on this one too. I mean, we've looked at his past fights, and he's been doing nothing but just going up and getting more talented and tightening up his game. So I'm also gonna have to go with him and go with some kind of either referee stoppage or knockout.
Right. See, Sean O'Malley keeps fighting up. Like he's building momentum as he goes. After this fight, he staged for a guy that's ranked inside the top 7, I think. I think you look at maybe, we'll talk about him later, the loser of the Aljamain Sterling Corey Sandhagen fight. Maybe Sean O'Malley gets a shot at them next. Both of those guys are fucking good. And then you look at the other one, Cody Garbrandt and Rafael Insanzo, however the hell you say his last name. Both of those are killers as well. Maybe one of those, it just depends on how the cards play. He's going to fight somebody, he's going to step up every time he fights because he's making it look so fucking easy. And all these guys, especially in that bantamweight division, that's a pretty good stat division. Probably right there along with the 55-pound division. It's stacked. So anybody you fight is going to be fucking good, world class. So and he's making it look easy. All right, moving on. Neil Magny versus Anthony Rocco Martin. I really don't know a whole lot about these guys. Welterweight clash here. The welterweight, the UFC stacked in general. Let me just go ahead and put that out there. The welterweight, I feel like it's top heavy though. I mean, you had Tyron Woodley when he was doing really good. You've got the champion, of course, and Kamaru Usman. He's a fucking monster. Colby Covington, Jorge Masvidal. I'm won't even say Nate Diaz right now, but that division is stacked at the top. But I feel like after the top 8 to 10 people, it falls off significantly more than, say, the 155 division. I think the 155 division, 15 deep, anybody can beat anybody any night. Of course, you're going to have those guys like Khabib, Gaethje, McGregor, Ferguson that are fucking warriors and are going to win 90% of their fights. But all it takes is one punch from a guy in that division, and I feel like they're all pretty, especially the top 10 are really big for lightweight. They probably cut a bunch of weight, especially, I know Khabib cuts a shit ton of weight. Anyway, so with this fight, I'm just going to take a guess here. I'll go Neil Magny. Fuck it.
And I'm with you right now. I don't know much about either one of these guys, and just for the sake of competition, I'll go with Anthony Martin.
Sounds good to me. All right, this next fight, both these guys are fucking really talented. Aljamain Sterling and Corey Sandhagen. I can see this fight going either way. I really am a big fan of Aljamain Sterling, and he's so close to finally getting a title shot. I really want to see him get it, so I'll go Aljamain Sterling on this one. So it could easily be Sandhagen, though. Sandhagen's really talented. Who you got, Josh?
We're looking at, both of these guys, if you look at their stats, other than a height difference, they're both fairly close. I'm with you.
Who's taller?
It could go either way.
Sandhagen
is 5'9", and Sterling is 5'6". So
damn, Sandhagen's huge for a fucking bantamweight, dude.
Yeah, Sandhagen's a big dude, and
he's good. He's so good.
So, man, he's a big bantamweight, like you said. So, I'm gonna go with Sandhagen.
All right.
Like you said, it could go either way because both of these guys are brawlers. So
I'm picking with my heart, not my brain on this one. I just really want to see Aljamain Sterling get the title shot.
It's going to be an interesting shot for sure.
I think he's especially with the bantamweight title being vacated right now, Henry Cejudo stepping down, Dominic Cruz losing another fight. I don't think Cruz is fighting for a title again back-to-back times. Whoever wins this fight, I think is getting a title shot. Is going to fight Peter. Damn, I can't remember the other dude's name. Peter something. They're going to be fighting him for the title for the real belt. So there's a lot at stake on this one. And for some reason, I don't know why it's the third fight on the main card. It honestly should be ahead of a Sun Tzu and Garbrandt, honestly, that in my opinion. But while we're on that subject, let's go ahead and talk about this one. A Sun Tzu is coming off. He looked really good his last fight. Garbrandt is coming off 3 straight knockouts. At a certain point, I think fighting becomes more psychological than it is physical for me. Once you get knocked out and once you get cracked, like Cody Garbrandt has all 3 of his last fight, he's taking some punishment in there, and your chin starts to go after a certain point. And I feel like I know Garbrandt's got the power to knock him out, but I feel like that's the only way he can win this fight. I don't feel like if it goes to a decision, I don't feel like Cody can win it. I think he needs to knock him out early, like first round early. Because the Sun Tzu, his cardio is really good. His boxing is pretty damn good. And, of course, his jiu-jitsu, he's really good on the ground, too. I really hate to do this because Cody Garbrandt was one of my favorite fighters. I fucking hated TJ Dillashaw because of what he did to Team Alpha Male. But just for the sake of picking if I had to put money on it, I'll go Rafael Sun Tzu.
I'm gonna have to go with Rafael as well. Just like because even in the last Tony Ferguson fight, the way that he got cracked and kind of shook his head, obviously he got hit. That's got me worried about his future because
he's getting on there in age anyway.
Yeah, you look at guys who are getting older like that and have been in the game for a while, and obviously Ferguson has been in the game for a while. He's been fighting for a while. You see somebody get hit like that, and they show signs like Tony was showing, it's just, I mean, it's kind of a downhill roller coaster from then. Because, I mean, obviously,
Right.
these dudes, they love the sport, they love to fight, they want to keep doing what they're doing. But, I mean, you look in cases like Chuck Liddell, the Iceman, started just getting absolute. Used to have the best chin in the UFC. Was the UFC's first real superstar, and
Yeah.
then after one or two good, really, really good knock licks, taking it to the chin, he just lost it. So
Yeah, he's got a glass chin now. In my opinion, in the fight game especially, the chin and your speed is the first to go. Mostly your chin. And then I mean power I think is the last to go. I think Chuck Liddell probably still even in his last fight with Tito, which probably should have never happened. I'm gonna go on record and say that. Jesus Christ. Two old ass dudes and they're duking it out. And Chuck was not in fight shape. But you could still see when he threw punches, they had power behind them. So, like you said, but anyway, we both hit Raphael. I think that's a good pick. I'll be rooting for Cody for sure because I want to see him. Everybody's counting him out right now, and I really like Cody Garbrandt. He's a genuine dude, loyal guy. Really loves Uriah Faber. He recently is trying to revive his career. He didn't leave Team Alpha Male, but he started training with another striking coach. And I mean, he's dedicating like at Team Alpha Male. You got Uriah Faber. He's probably got 100 fucking people in there every day, in and out of there every day. Doesn't have a whole lot of time to dedicate time to a specific fighter. So he went and hired a dedicated striking coach, much like TJ Dillashaw did with Dwayne Bang Ludwig. So really, I think if Cody, I need to see something from Cody before I believe it. I'm hearing that he's rededicated. He's a different fighter now. He's not going to go in there and just fucking get angry. He fights with a lot of emotion, and you can't do that. You especially in the minor leagues, I will call it, the other organizations, you might can do that and get away with it. But you're fighting the best of the best week in, week out. Every fight, they're going to be world class talent. You really can't do that. So I'll be interested to see how Cody fights, and I can't wait. I hope Cody knocks this motherfucker out and resurges his career and can get back up there into the big money fights because I think he deserves it. He really works hard. He's a good guy, good father, good husband. I really like him. I like his whole family. I like his brother Zach too.
Raphael is almost 40 years old. That's an old.
Yeah, I mean, this is Raphael, in my opinion. This is his last surge towards the title. If he suffers a loss or two, there's no way he's gonna make it to a title before he has to retire.
And I mean,
even though he's still a fucking. He's a specimen, dude. He's built like a brick shit house. But Cody Garbrandt's still fairly young, I believe. Probably, I would say, if I had to guess, probably 28.
Yeah.
I was going to say 30. That was going to be my guess. So he's still young. I hope he gets his career back on the right track because those Dillashaw fights sold, son. That was fucking. Anytime you got pure hate between two fighters and they're fitting to step in the octagon, it sells itself. I mean, you can tell he really didn't like Dominic Cruz either. And nobody gave him a chance in that fight. But guess who picked him? I did. And he fucking outclassed. I mean, he didn't fight with emotion. He didn't get over emotional. Now, those TJ Dillashaw fights is where you've seen him get emotional. And he got out there in the first fight. He got out there and dropped fucking Dillashaw. I mean, if there was 15 more seconds in the first round, Cody Garbrandt's still champion, I think, bantamweight champion. Because he dropped him. I mean, he would fucking TJ Dillashaw didn't know where he was at for about 12, 10, 15 seconds, something like that. But he was saved by the bell, came back out, and Cody got over aggressive, emotional, and started trying to knock his head off, and he got caught and knocked out. Much of the same thing happened in the second fight, except it was pretty much pure domination by Dillashaw. He was catching Garbrandt with everything, which he's got a great striking coach. Dwayne Ludwig's one of the best in the business. So, all right, moving on. The main event. Amanda the Lioness Nunes versus Felicia Spencer. Keep this short and sweet. I don't see anybody beating Amanda Nunes. I'm calling Amanda Nunes. Felicia Spencer has a puncher's chance and maybe could catch her and knock her out, but that's it. Nothing more than that. Going Amanda Nunes, no doubt.
Bro, I'm trying to, I mean, if we're being honest, Amanda Nunes is a killer, but I'm just trying to see Paige Van Zandt fight again, bro. It's coming up in July. Bro.
She's sexy, right?
I'm ready to see my girl fight, bro.
She's bad, and
I'm
she
ready to see my
dates.
girl fight. She also, she dates Austin Vanford. Or no,
Yeah,
she's married to him. She's
so they're married now.
they're married now. So
That's I
two,
like him too.
two
He's
fighters.
in Bellator, I think.
Yeah, he is in Bellator, and his last fight looked extremely good.
Yeah, he's gonna get picked up by the UFC. I think. No,
He looked
probably one more good fight like that, he'll be in the UFC. I think he's a 170er. I think he's a welterweight.
he's a fairly big dude.
Yeah, I mean he's a good fighter too. Really good on the ground. I like his ground game. He can. I mean he's got some strikes too. I've seen him fight. I think he fought on the Contender, if I'm not mistaken. He got a. They called him. A lot of people were making fun of him when that episode came on. I was on Twitter. They called him Mr. Van Sant because they were like, "Your wife's a bigger fighter than you."
It's kind of embarrassing when you're a girl in the UFC and you're still out there playing for the semi-pros, dude.
Yeah, but I mean, shit, he's still getting paid to fight, which is badass. So,
You're right, and I mean, he gets to go.
and I like him. He's a good dude.
He gets to hold that freaking dime.
But
piece.
Paige Van Zant, good God, son,
Go home to
she
that
is one hot mommy.
I mean, if I was him,
Me too, bro. They've been taking. Do you follow either one of them on Instagram?
bro, do I?
Did you see those like naked photos they took? I mean, they covered up their genitalia, of course, but Jesus Christ, dude.
Call it.
All right, let's move on before I get too uncomfortable
Hey,
here. Get too hot.
You ever get a divorce? Holler at your boy. I'll let you beat the hell out of me anytime, bro. You get mad.
Did you say eat or beat?
I said beat. Well,
Oh shit! Hold on, buddy. I was about to say me too, but then you said beat.
nah, dude. I'm trying to hear it. Beat me up, bro.
Nah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna put the fucking beaters on her if she tries me. That's 100% fact.
I mean,
Been proven before.
Ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of domestic violence and sex, bro.
It happens to every couple gets a little physical sometimes. I feel like. Anyway, all right. The last thing we're gonna talk about today. The episode's not as long, but it's got a lot of quality patent in here. You guys have to admit. Have you checked Twitter with fucking the people sharing that photoshopped ass picture of Hitler holding the Bible the same way Trump was holding it?
No, I have, dude. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been off social media for the past couple days, like just as far as Facebook and Twitter have gone, just because I'm sick. I just want to live my life, and I just want to live my life, go to work, and go home, and not be pissed off every day.
Well, it didn't really piss me off. I thought it was comical that people actually believe this shit. I mean, I found the actual picture they photoshopped of Hitler, and the way he's holding the Bible does look. In the real picture, Hitler's not holding the Bible. Of course, it was photoshopped. People are just out to get Donald Trump. And I mean, people did the same thing. They do it with every president. The other side, the left will fucking try to make the right president look bad, vice versa. But I thought that was hilarious. People were sharing it and actually thought that was a real picture. They're like, "See, I told you Trump was Hitler." Like, dude, shut the fuck up.
That's why, like, I can definitely, like, there's some stuff where people will, like, make Donald Trump into a Cheeto, and I think it's hilarious. Because
yeah, that is funny. Yeah.
We're all being honest, the man is orange. And
yeah, for sure.
So it's funny. I think it's hilarious. But I saw at some point, because, you see people posting stuff like that, and there's actually morons that would see, dude, somebody could literally Photoshop a picture of Trump shirtless, put a swastika tattoo on his shoulder, and people would share it and be like, "Oh, god dang, they done found him. We got him now." I mean, it's just like people are so ignorant that it takes the fun out of it. Like, I'm just like, dude, come on, man. Like, I mean, obviously, I'm not one of those people, but you should know. I mean, because I've been I'm one of those people. If Trump does something to piss me off, like I'm not a huge supporter of the stimulus check thing. I'm just not. One time I can say, okay, we're in a crisis. I can see it. I didn't really agree with it, obviously. I'm not going to sit here and say I didn't take the money, because I did. But, I mean, we're going to have to pay it back anyway. And
You're fucking right we did, baby.
I just couldn't send it back.
Send me another one.
I'm going to be extremely pissed off if they send out another one. This $3 trillion budget BS that we don't have, it's going to piss me off. Now, am I going to take the money? Yes, because it's being sent to me and I'm poor. So, I mean, I don't want to sit there.
Me
I don't
too.
want to sit there and be a hypocrite and say that I don't agree with it because there's nothing I can do. I mean, I can't send it back. It's going to be sent to me anyway. But I don't. I mean, I don't want. I want us to make this decision not to do it. So I mean, I will. I will criticize Trump when he needs criticism because sometimes he does go overboard. Sometimes I mean, but I just think it's ridiculous for anybody. And one thing I really hate about election time is because all these people, Joe Biden will slur his words, and it sounds like we're going to beat Joe Biden, and he really says, "I'm going to be Joe Biden." And they sit there and they play it over and over again to try to make him sound like he's got Alzheimer's. I don't know if the man has Alzheimer's. Yeah, he shows some symptoms every time too. But I mean, even I'm almost 25 years old. Y'all hear me speak all the time. I screw up my words a lot because I'm not that great of a public speaker. Now, if you're a political figure, should you be a public speaker, a good public speaker? Yeah. But I think we can beat their ideas without making stupid ass memes or trying to stretch things farther than they should be. So that's the part of the meme war that gets on my nerves because I kind of feel like it's kind of beneath politics. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. I feel like we can pick a candidate.
That's why it gets under my skin.
I feel like you should pick a candidate that you want to be your president based on their policies, even their beliefs, sort of, if they coincide and what they can do to better this country, rather than picking a candidate that's, let's say, you're not going to pick Donald Trump because he said grab her by the pussy that so many years ago. You should not vote based on that. I feel like you should vote for the candidate you feel best to represent our country and make the best decisions to better our country, rather than not picking somebody because of what they said fucking 30 years ago. That's just my opinion. I'd rather vote for a candidate than to vote for the lesser of two evils, in my opinion. That's just that I feel comfortable with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's all we got for today. We're gonna try to start doing something different. Let's do one every other day.
Okay.
I think we got enough content that we can stew on about some bullshit every other day at least.
Especially
and
now,
then,
full of news these days.
Yeah. And then we've got during football season, for those of you that like football, I know some of you guys won't tune in because you're not a big sports guy, and that's okay. We're still going to come out with our regular content as well. During the season, it's going to be me, Hutto, and Zach. One that we'll pick a day, maybe Friday night. I'm probably going to be going to some high school games if they allow us. So we'll try maybe Thursday night, and we'll release it Friday morning. We're going to do a breakdown of each week, the big games. And of course, we'll do every Georgia and Florida game. And that way we'll give you guys some content during the football season too, and keep it sports related. That one's strictly sports related.
Well, and at least do obviously we might get off topic, but I would love to do we break down the big names in each conference each week and say, hey, this is who we're gonna, and even maybe do a competition each week and see what's popping.
I know there will be a competition, and there will be rewards, and there will be fucking consequences for finishing last. Okay, we're going to do a competition. Basically, we'll do 10 games a week. Of course, the Georgia-Florida game will be 2 of those games every week. Then we'll do 8 at-large games, I guess I'd say. And at the end of the year, we're going to take our win-loss percentage. Whoever has the worst, I'm going to come up with it beforehand, and everybody's going to agree to it, and then the winner will get something, maybe a trophy. Maybe I'll set up a pick'em on ESPN or something, and some of our listeners can play along with us too. And if you win, you get I might do a trophy or a plaque or something every year. Take the BMAX Sports pick'em winner for that year. Who knows? We'll come up with it though. Anyway, thank y'all again for coming. I know you love hearing me and Josh spew on about bullshit. Obviously, that's why you're here. Make sure to subscribe on all platforms. Share, tell a friend, tell your work buddies. Hey, we got some good shit going on here, some funny shit. Anyway, appreciate y'all tuning in. Go get on that grind this week. Have a good one. Peace.
Holla.
Thanks for tuning into the B-Max Sports Podcast.
40, run, Lindsay, 25, 20, 50, 10, 5, Lindsay, stop.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode.
I love the show, guys. You're awesome.
Listen, my whole family loves it, man.
I never miss an episode. It's the best.
We'll see you next week.
Go rock this thing, huh? Love you, man. Go get it.